Hey everybody, I'm Clay Souza. I'm a wedding and portrait photographer in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Today we're going to talk about Photoshop Layer Mask. Layer Mask is a powerful tool in Photoshop. It allows you to hide or reveal parts of an image. And I'm going to show you three different scenarios where I use Layer Mask. So let's get started. So all I have here is an image of a couple, and I have this overlay that I dumped on a, let me undo what I did. All right, so this is the image, right? So we duplicate the background image by hitting Control J. Now I have a whole new a copy of the background layer because you don't want to work on a background layer and have issues with the image. So, and then I will create a new, I will drag this guy over here on the top of it. Now I have this heart on its own shape, on its own layer, so I can turn on and off, have full control over it. And I'm going to change the opacity mode to screen, or let me see a better one here. This guy, yeah, let's do light color, right? So now it's transparent. So we're gonna use layer mask now. This needs to go behind the couple, right? So I'm going to position it and I'm going to transform this by hitting Control. So the layer is selected over here. I hit Control T as in TED, as in transform, or I can go edit, transform, and scale. Same thing, right? We all know I'm a big shortcut guy. Control T. Now I can drag the sides of it. I need to hit the to push the shift key to keep the proportions. Now I'm moving this over here. I think, make it smaller. I think it can go a little bit bigger like that. I think it's good like this, right? And put it up there like that. Yeah. I hit enter, now I have this. So the issue here that we have, it's like, oh, this needs to be behind the couple, not in front of the couple. That's when layer mask kicks in and help you guys, help us to make it happen. So I'm gonna add a layer mask to this layer. Whatever I want to hide, right? Whatever I want to hide and review, which layer I'm going to work on. So I go here to layer 2, I'm gonna rename it to heart. So I go to my heart layer and I see this little icon here. I'm sorry, this one over here. Add layer mask, I'll add a layer mask to it. Watch this layer here. When I hit this button, you have that new layer mask icon in there. As you can see, the layer mask now, it's a white mask, meaning it reveals everything that's underneath it, right? So here I have my image, the couple, and I have this mask here that's white. It's basically it's transparent, but on the mask word, white reveals and black hides it, right? So if I paint this layer with black, if I go and do a Control I to invert this layer, so the heart is gone now, watch, and over here, we have the layer became black. So if I undo this, that's the heart, right? So now, all we need to do now is very simple, guys. I have my foreground and background color here. Watch my swatches over here, those two guys. Those are the default colors, right? Black and white. When I switch, now you have over here on the layers palette, you have two layers. So you can select them individually. So when I'm on my layer mask, this is always black and white. If I go back to my layer, the couple layer over here, you see how the color changes here? But on my layer mask, they are going to be black and white. So now what do I need to do here? Let's think about this a little bit. What do I need to do here? I need to hide whatever is in front of the couple, which parts of the heart is in front of the couple, right? To make it look like it's behind them. So all I need to do now, I have my layer. I go to my brush tool over here, or you hit B for brush on your keyboard, and I pick a soft brush, a very soft brush, and I have my modifiers here. I have opacity 100 and flow 100. And I'm gonna keep it like that. And there's a little shortcut here. If you're working on Windows, I don't know for the Mac how it goes. But if you hold your Alt key and hold your mouse right button, you get that thing in there. If you move right or left, you affect the diameter of the brush. If you go up and down, you're affecting the hardness of the brush. I move it down, it gets harder. I move it up, it gets softer. You can see that over the preview there, right? It's a very, very useful short. Otherwise, you have to go here, increase size, increase blah, 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 blah. Use all of this to make the changes. Now here, what we do over here. And now I'm going to paint black, right? If I paint white, because my foreground color now is white, if I paint white here, nothing's going to happen because white reveals and the layer is already white, so it doesn't make sense. So I switch it to black by either clicking on this little double arrow there or hitting X on my keyboard. Watch, right? I painted black, and now I'm going to paint where I don't want it. See what's happening here? What's happening is that, look at the edges, getting really soft edges, right? It's because my brush is too soft. So I'm going to undo all of that, Control Z. I'm going to undo all of that, and I'm going to increase the hardness of my brush to 100%. Now I have a hard brush. I'm going to decrease the size a little bit. And now I'm going to paint black where I want to hide from the couple. Over here, I can make it smaller, and I'm going to decrease the opacity. I'm going to keep like about 20%. And again, now I want to reveal this little part here. This little part here, I want to reveal that part because we're missing the heart here. All I need to do now, like I said, white reveals, black hides. I just flip it to white again. And if I paint now, if I go to my brush and paint now, and I bring it back, see? Now it's getting a little bit of her hair here. I'm going to get a harder brush, flip colors again to black by pushing X on my keyboard, and I'm going to take it out here. Like that. So right now I'm at 300%. So if I go back to 100%, it's like that. I may even position that a little bit later on. So let's go over here and do the very same thing. I have black as my foreground. Now I go over here and I'm going to paint black on the top of the bride where I don't want to see the heart. Whatever I want to hide it. So every time I get to the edge, I always increase the size of the image so I can kind of, there are some sparkles going on here that we need to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of those too. Just because. Over there. Now on the edge here, I'm going to bring it like 300% again. And I'm going to grab this guy and go like this a little bit. And let's do the same thing on the other side. The way I'm, see, there's some sparkles over here. Let's get rid of those too. I'm just painting black, whatever I want to hide it. The way I'm moving the image there, I'm holding the space bar. You see, when I hold the space bar, watch my cursor here, over here. When I hold the space bar, it becomes a hand. I can move it. Oh, here's another sparkle here to hide. Hide. Let's hide this guy over here. Right? Now let's go back and hide these pieces here. Am I at 100%? Let me see. Hold on. I'm not at 100%. That's why I'm having a hard time with it. Okay, there you go. Now I can get really sharp edges on that. Now let's say I make a mistake. Oh, crap, right? No panicking. You don't need to do, all you need to do, switch back to white again by pushing X in your keyboard or over here and review that part again, right? Now let's go over here. Let's see how it looks. See how I'm missing a piece here. I'm going to paint it white again. Go over here like that. Go this side. The side looks almost good. Oops. Black. I want to hide those guys over here. I'm going to hide this guy too. Hide this guy over here. You see there's a sparkles all over the groom. So the cool thing about this is not destructing the image. We're just hiding and showing. That's all we're doing here, right? I should have taken this all. Let me take this all too. Over here, let me see. See, I missed a piece here. So I cut too much of it, switch back to white again, and reveal. Oops, went too much. So I'm at 400% now. I'm seeing this really big right now. So keep hiding it from here. Look over here now, over here. Go back. Now it looks like the heart is behind them almost. We still need to do the bench over here. Guys, same thing. Painting black on the bench. And I'm using a hard brush because I'm painting hard edges. So you can be as picky as you want or as sloppy as you want.
Now, is there any way I mean, you've got to have a consistent color for the background, like it's either black or white. But is there any way, I mean, if I had a background image that I wanted to do this with, if I just had a consistent background color like green, is there any way you could use something besides black or white?
No, it's not only black and white. You can do it any image. You can do it any image. And I'm going to show you later on other images that are different from this one. I mean, the black background here was just a coincidence of the image, but you can use it on any image. It will work on any image. As long as you're painting black on the layer mask over here, you're good. Because I'm gonna show you something. Hold on. That might help you to understand it a little bit better. Let me finish this guy here first. Did I miss this or no? There's nothing here. All right. Here. All right. Let's see how it looks. Right now it looks like it's behind. Not much. Hold on. Forgot this guy. Can't be here. It doesn't make sense. So I mean, it has to make sense, right? Has to look real. There you go. Looks like it's behind them now, right? You can go and remove this if you want to. It's just a matter of taste. You leave as much as you want or reduce as much as you want. Right? And now the cool thing is that I have this on a totally separate layer. If I don't like it, if you want a different effect, you can have like several effects on it and just, so I'm not really destructing the base layer. It's a whole different layer. And if you want to see where your layer mask is, you can hit Control and hit the layer mask, click the layer mask once. It shows that I select. These are all the parts that I have removed. Whatever selected is all parts that I have removed from the image. I have hidden from the image, not removed. Or if I hit Alt, I can have that as a mask. See? Use all the black that we have painted over the image to hide whatever it is. Now, let me show you something. Let's undo this part here. I'm going to paint it back. Why does it need to be black? Let's do a gray in here. Let's do a neutral gray. Watch. You see, it's not black. So you can still see through it a little bit, right? So you can have like, this is great if you're doing like a double exposure type of thing. You can use layer mask. You just don't use black. Black will hide everything. But if you go in grades of in shades of gray, you're going to see that you can show some transparency in there, which is a really cool thing also to do. And let me undo that. So to your point, Brian, you can do that on any image, but if you want to hide 100%, it needs to be black, because if it's a different color, it's not going to work. It's still going to show through a little bit. Now I have full control over this image. Over this layer here, I can decrease the opacity on it, just like a regular normal layer, right? I can do color and saturation in here, but that's going to require us to do a clipping mask, because it's taking the whole, it's affecting the whole image. But I can go over here and do it. This is another clipping mask. What is it? So create a clipping mask. Now I'm going to clip this layer to that one. It's just going to affect just the layer underneath it, which is this one here, right? So I can go over here and change colors if I want to. Oh my goodness, a blue heart. I can make it really cheesy if I want to. Now you can see some issues over here, right? All I need to do now is go back in here and paint it again. Paint it black to remove those things here. I'm painting gray, that's why.
Yes, I was thinking, why gray?
I'm like, what's happening? It's gray. Yeah, now you can get rid of all of that. You get the idea, right? Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
It's a very powerful tool. I mean, you may look at it and say, oh, but my brides don't want. I actually had like, my whole career, I had like 2 or 3 brides who asked for something like that. Can you do a light painting? I go like, nobody has time to do that, but you're gonna make it happen for you. So I always do like one image with it and one image without it. So they can, so if I put like a really soft brush here right now, like that, right? Now we, oh, I still have more here. Because I changed the color of the thing. The thing was black and the background wasn't showing. Right? So this guy looks funny here. We can decrease the opacity on this brush and decrease the hardness to make it a little bit soft over here in the edge. Like that. A little bit like that. Yeah. And if you want to change colors again, you can go back here and make it orange. Orangish, I guess. You can make it red, so just play with it. So the idea here is to show you we have full control over the layer, just like a regular layer, just like it is, a regular layer.
Because you did the clipping mask, right? The clipping mask?
Well, the clipping mask is making it just affect the underneath layer.
Okay.
Right?
I have that a lot of times where I'll want to brighten or darken, or let's say fix the color temperature of a part of the image, but not the whole image. And I knew that there was a way, but I couldn't get it to do that.
Yeah, clipping mask is your solution.
Okay.
And the way you get to it, right click on it, is going to show here around somewhere here.
Create clipping mask. Yeah.
Somewhere in here, right?
It says release now because you made it clipping.
Yeah, because I already have a clipping mask here.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So this is one way. You guys have questions about this? So we're adding stuff to our image, right? All you need to remember is black hides, white shows. Let's close this image here. Let me show you another way that I use clipping, not clipping masks, but layer masks. Don't laugh at my image. This was on the very, very, very first photo shoots that I've done in the past. On the very, very first, like, okay, let's take a model and let's go with a model to the beach and let's try to do some stuff. There's a lot of crazy stories about this day, but I don't want to bore you with that. So we have like kind of a boring sky here, right? Not a whole lot of blue, not a whole lot of contrast and stuff. There are several ways that you can do this, what I'm going to show you, but I want to show you how to use that as a layer mask. That's pretty simple also. As always, I'm going to start duplicating my background layer, hitting Control J, right? And I'm going to add an empty layer. You're going to make this sky here a little bit bluer. And I'm going to add another layer. So it's just by click on this icon here, I had a new blank layer, transparent layer. You can see here the checkered background tells me the transparent layer. I'm going to go over here, click on my foreground image. I get a picker, and I'm going to pick a color on this guy. A little bit too dark. Let's go back to a lighter blue. That's greenish. To green. That's almost what we have there. Let's get this dark blue over here. Yeah. Now I'm going to paint this layer with that blue. The way to do this, I can grab my paint bucket here and just click on the image and make it blue. As a shortcut, if I want to fill this layer with the foreground color, I hold my Alt key and hit backspace. If I want to hit with my background color, I hold the Control key and hit backspace. So my background color here is black. It feels black. So I want to fill my foreground color. Now, if you think about what I told you in the beginning of this video, it's like white shows, black hides. Now you can think, well, and if I use a radial filter on it? On the layer mask, I mean. I hit the layer mask button again. I have a white layer. And now let's look for, this is my radial filter, gradient filter, right? So I'm set to black to white, foreground to background color, right? If I do this right now, what's going to happen? If I have this inverted white, what's gonna happen? Look, right? Because, let's flip it again. I get black on the top and white at the bottom. So I'm pretty much hiding the top of the image. Look over here, right? Now, if I go the other way, I can also hit the reverse here. So watch this guy here. Now I have a little bit of a gradient there, don't I? Look.
Oh, that's great.
Right? So, but now how much should I, if you need to know how further down you push it, just decrease the opacity of the top layer a little bit. Now you know where you are. Now I can go over here and bring this guy around here. Look, I think I can go even a little bit further. Now I have a more interesting sky, right? Look, not a whole lot of changes, but this can help you a lot because now, again, you have control over this layer. You can do whatever you want here. You can do a hue and saturation on this layer, and you have to clip it again, of course. Let's do a clipping mask, lightness. You get more saturation there. So you can play with this a whole lot. I mean, you can go back with the blue if you want to. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do in here. And now, as I create the new adjustment layer, that's what it is, those guys over here. You can access those guys either by here or going down here and say, there's an adjustment layer. What's happening? Lost my thing. I think this is a fill adjustment layer. It's going to give you the same options that I have here, right? Now you can play with this as much as you want. You can bring the blue a little bit lower if you want to. You can increase the hue and saturation of it. I remove the layer mask, the layer clipping. Let's clip it again. You see, now that's a quick way to go from here to here. This is great for like blown out skies and that type of stuff. You can add blue to the sky or any color you want based on that. And the same way, let's say if let me undo this. Let me drop this layer over here. Delete this layer. Let me get a new layer there. Let's paint it blue again. Let's say when I went to do the radial filter, oh, I need a layer mask. That's why. There you go. Let's say when I went to do the filter, I pull down too much of it. Right? So now the blue is kind of affecting over here. I can go back here to the layer mask, do a brush, and which color I want to paint it. Because I got blue down here where I don't want to. I can paint back black in it to remove the blue out of it. So it's always a whoops.
Be white because you would want to reveal, yeah.
I'm white, right? Oh, no, 80% here. Oh, no. Oh, I'm in the wrong tool. That's my brush. That's why it's not working. My brush over here. There you go.
Yeah.
Right? Now I'm removing the blue that's down here. And if you have a lot of stuff, you don't need to use the brush actually. What you do, just do a selection around it. Quick selection tool, grab it, watch. And just paint black. My foreground color is black. Alt, backspace, I paint black on the bottom of the image one shebang. I don't need to brush everything in there, right? Now I have a little bit more interesting sky. This is like your imagination. You can play with this as much as you want, make this, but that's a really cool way, easy and fast way to play with skies if you need to. What do you guys think?
Great.
Good? All right, cool. So again, never mind this image. One of my very first photo shoots in my life. So had no idea what I was doing at that point. I knew I had a model, a beach, and a parachute dress. That's all I had.
It's a cool dress and the model's gorgeous. Just all those people on the beach were in the way.
Yeah. She's actually went out. She's in New York now as a model, working in New York as a working model now.
Nice.
So another way, third and last way I use layer masking. I have this image that I shot in this wedding last year, January last year, I guess, or 2 years ago. Efficient is always in the way, right? They always in the way of us. So I always shoot wider than I need for those type of situations, because you can always crop, but you can't really add much to the image. Sometimes it's hard. Let's try to remove the efficient from here. There's a few other things that you're going to do beyond layer mask. As always, duplicate the background layer, holding Control J. Now, pretty much to remove her, what I need to do, I need to get. Let me put a layer here. And let me get the pen tool. Where's the pen tool? The P. So what I need to do pretty much get this part of the image here on this side, right? To cover her. That's what I need to do. Get this left empty area over here to this side. To do this, you're going to flip this image. You're going to flip it horizontally. So I have my background layer and I have a copy of the background layer, right? So on this one here, I can go edit, transform, flip horizontal. Okay, now I have what I need there. Or you can also, the shortcut is Control T for transform, and you get this selection ring around it. Right click on the image and pick flip horizontal. And hit enter, now you're there. So background layer is what we want, but we don't want the minister there. So we're gonna mask her out. All I want to show you is this, we're not copying this part into this part because I have inverted it. I'm going to review this part. To do this, I'm going to create a layer mask. I always think every time I'm doing this, I'm like, what's the easiest way, fastest way to get to this? Right now, I need to hide a very small part of the image, right? All I need to hide is this part here. So I don't need to paint much. What I do, I start with everything hidden. I create a layer mask and do Control I to invert it. Now, I didn't undo what I've done. Remember that black hides. I just hid this layer here. All I've done with this mask is hid this layer. Now I'm going to paint white on it. Watch. is 62. Let's go back to 100. And I'm going to get some hardness here. I'm going to paint white in here.
Muito bom.
Now she's gone, right?
Yeah.
Now over here, you're going to decrease the brush a little bit. And then she's gone. So now, when you do this type of stuff, you got to watch, number one, 100%, because a lot of time I miss little pieces here and there. So you want to make sure, especially if it's going to be printed, you want to make sure that this is like perfect. I don't know if it is part of that. No, it's part of it. You get this guy over there. I'm going to paint the whole thing. Hold on. So another thing that you need to be aware of, right now, the left side is exactly like the right side, right? And people will pick up on that. Oh, this is a mirrored image, right? You need to transform this a little bit. The way I do this, I merge these two layers into one single layer by I merge these two layers by selecting them both and hitting Control E, and I duplicate the background layer again. Now this is okay. This is my almost final image. I just need to make this side a little bit different from this side to make it more real, right? So if I go to my what's the name of this tool? I don't even know the name. Healing brush. Healing brush. There are three tools under the healing brush tool. Those three tools go together. For this one here, for the healing brush, what's the name of this one? Spot healing, and this is the patch, right? For the healing brush tool, you need to have a source and a destination. Source meaning I'm going to get the pixels from where and put them where. We're going to get some, for instance, first thing I want to get rid of is this guy over here. I don't want to get rid of everything, but this is just like this one. That's the first spot. When I look at this image, I'm like, okay, this is a mirrored one because see, same height, same everything. We're going to keep it here, just going to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go back to my healing brush tool, decrease the size of my brush. And I'm going to sample an area, usually the same area that you are, a little bit higher here. And I'm going to start copying this area over here. Right? So now they don't look so similar anymore. I also want to get rid of this guy over here. There's another giveaway. So let me look at it. You can pretty much also do this. You sample it and you can click and you can drag over there. I need a softer brush for this. I'm already at 0 opacity. Let me see, let's play. It has some modes here that I have never played much with this. Let's look at this guy here and see what this guy is going to do. There you go, a little bit better. Yeah. Right? So you got rid of that guy in there. Maybe you're going to play with this a little bit here. Yeah. Just to make it look a little bit different. All you need to do is keep cloning. So I hit my Alt key, hold it. You can see my cursor change. Okay, where's the source? The source is over here. If I go over here, I guess, if I grab this guy over here, we'll put it over there. See what I did? I'm sourcing from here and pasting it over here. You know, you always want to source close to the area that you're changing. I can go over here and clone that a little bit more. Over here. If I do, I always do this with a soft brush, unless I'm going through the edges. If I had to clone something on the edge, let's say around here, for instance, I would use like a harder brush, because that's a hard edge. So that's another way to to remove stuff from your background, actually. Kind of don't like those three things here. I don't know where they came from. Or they came from the other side. Duh. Yeah. So I'm moving fast here because I'm hitting out to sample. So now it looks very different from the other side. See? I know there's some stuff that can be done better, but you get the idea, I guess. Replace, there you go. I always find that bigger brushes are softer overall, right? Now you can play with this as much as you want. So now we have a very different background from the other side. Or if you want to bring, I can bring it back because I clipped the, I cut the all the mask here. But if you want to go back with this look a little bit, you can always go in here type of thing. One thing that I want to show you when you do this technique, I'm sampling from here. If I just click on it and let it go, it will do one time, and you go back to the source and do another time, right? Doing the same thing. So you can see repetition pattern there. But if I click one time, keep my mouse down and hold it, watch on the left side. Can you see that? Let me know if you can see the cross on the left side of the image. Can you guys see the cross there?
Yeah.
Okay, watch the cross. It keeps sampling wherever I go, look. Now I have something more interesting, right? And I can go over here and start over here. See? Now it's a very different background from the other side in a mirrored image. That's usually how I remove efficient from my images. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't do that for every image. I do things for an image goes in an album, or it's gonna be a big print or anything like that, then we remove them. And also, a lot of times when you're shooting, it's always a good idea to be thinking about this stuff, right? So look at the image when you're shooting, look at the image, always shoot wider than what you need, because you can always crop in. It's always easier to crop it than to add background. On this image, it wouldn't be hard to add background because you could do a content awareness and just keep extending that background over there. But a lot of images, there's no way to do that.